First off, a massive congratulations. You did it. You've officially got your Subclass 500 student visa and your Australian journey is literally about to begin. That is a huge, huge deal and you should be incredibly proud. But after the excitement settles down, a big question usually pops up.
What happens now? What are the rules you absolutely have to follow? And maybe more importantly, what are the common mistakes you need to avoid? So let's dive right in, because knowing the rules after you get your visa is every bit as important as getting it in the first place. This is your essential guide to getting it right.
Okay, first things first. Before you even start thinking about what to pack, we need to get your documents sorted. This part is super simple, but trust me, it is absolutely critical.
Look, these two things are basically your golden tickets. They're what gets you on the plane and what lets you into Australia. So do yourself a favor, double check, then triple check that your passport is valid and your visa is good to go. Keep them somewhere safe but easy to grab. Seriously, without these, your journey stops before it even starts. It's that simple. All right, let's jump forward in time. You've landed. The flight was long, you're probably a bit tired, but you are finally here. Walking up to that border control desk can feel a little intimidating, but honestly, it's a super smooth process if you just know the steps. So while you're on the plane, they'll hand you an incoming passenger card. Make sure you fill that out completely and honestly. When you land, have that card and your passport ready to go. And hey, here's a pro tip for you. If you've got one of those e-passports, use the smart gates. They use facial recognition, and it will get you out of the airport and on your way so much faster.
Okay, you're in. You've made it. Now, this is where we get into the real heart of this explainer. Living in Australia on a student visa is about so much more than just studying. It comes with a whole set of rules that you are legally required to follow.
And this right here, this is the golden rule, straight from the Department of Home Affairs. Everything, and I mean everything we talk about from here on out, comes back to this one point. Meeting your visa conditions and following Australian laws isn't a suggestion, it's your #1 responsibility. Getting this wrong can put your entire stay in jeopardy. So how do you keep track of all these conditions? Let me introduce you to your new best friend, VIVO. That stands for Visa Entitlement Verification Online. This is the official government website that shows you the exact, up-to-the-minute details of your specific visa. Not sure about your work hours or expiry date? Don't ask a friend, check VIVO. It is the one and only source of truth for your visa. Go bookmark it right now. Now for the big one. This is a topic that comes up all the time for international students: work. A lot of people get confused by the rules, so let's just break down exactly what you can and can't do. I want you to memorize this number, 48. When your course is officially in session, you can work a maximum of 48 hours per fortnight. And a fortnight is just a 14-day period. This isn't a guideline, it's a hard limit. Going over it is a really serious breach of your visa conditions.
And here's where a really key difference comes into play. That 48-hour limit, it only applies when your course is running. During your scheduled school holidays, like the big summer break, you can work unlimited hours. Understanding that difference is absolutely vital for planning your finances and staying on the right side of the law.
Now, a few more critical details here. First, and this is the biggest mistake people make, you cannot work a single hour before your course has officially begun, period. Also, just remember, these rules aren't one size fits all. If you're doing a master's by research or a PhD, you can probably work more. Same goes for your family members. The bottom line, what's the one thing you should always do? You got it. Confirm your personal conditions in VIVO.
It's easy to get focused on work, but let's not forget the whole reason you have this visa in the first place, your studies. And part of that is making sure the Department of Home Affairs knows you're making progress and that your personal info is always up to date. Think about it. The department has to be able to contact you. So keeping your details current is a mandatory visa condition. And as you can see, it's about more than just your address. If you move house, get a new phone number, get a new passport, or have a major life event like getting married, you have to let them know. Hey, what if you're thinking about switching your course? You need to be really, really careful here. Depending on your specific visa, you might actually need to get permission from the department before you make a change. A simple switch could accidentally breach your visa if you don't do it the right way. So what's the first step? Check VIVO. Always. For a lot of students, this journey is one you want to share with the people you love most. So let's talk about the rules for bringing family members to join you in Australia.
Now, when it comes to bringing family, the government's definition is super specific. For this visa, a family member is either your partner or a dependent child who is under 18. It's really important to know that this doesn't include your parents or your brothers and sisters or any other relatives. And this is probably the single most important rule to understand about family. You must have declared these family members in your original visa application. If you didn't list them way back then, you generally can't add them to your student visa later on. It's a very strict rule, which means planning way ahead is just essential.
All right, let's look ahead to the end of your course. Every temporary visa has an expiration date, and it's so important to know what your options are as that day gets closer and closer.
Let's be crystal clear on this point. You cannot extend a student visa. It just ends. If you want to stay in Australia for any reason, whether that's more study, work, or travel, you have to apply for a brand new, completely different visa before your current one expires.
This means you've got to plan ahead. For example, if your visa is going to expire before your graduation ceremony, you might need to apply for a visitor visa just to attend. If you're leaving for good, make sure your passport is still valid for your trip home. And don't forget, you can apply to get back your superannuation. That's the retirement money you earned while you were working here.
Look, your visa is so much more than a piece of paper. It's your ticket to an incredible experience, but it's also a big responsibility. By understanding these rules, you're not just protecting your visa, you're setting yourself up for a successful, rewarding, and stress-free adventure in Australia. So, the only question left is, are you ready?